Hello, hi there. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael. I'm one of the business advisors that work here at Wenta, and I'll be hosting today's webinar, an introduction to our net zero program. So welcome everybody. Just before I get started, I'll do a really brief give you a really brief introduction or brief background about myself. We're going to talk a little bit about Wenta, and then we'll delve into the ins and outs of the net zero. So just to give you a bit of background information about myself, graduated with a degree in business and management, all those many years ago now. Started my career doing accounts, doing year-end accounts for sole traders, for partnership and for limited companies. I then went on to set up various businesses with my family. I ran that for a few years. I then became a credit officer, a finance officer, and a business advisor. Working with potential entrepreneurs such as yourself in creating business plans, in creating cash flow forecasts, and then submitting that business proposal for startup funding. Hopefully, once they were successful in obtaining startup funding, I also provided them with a mentoring service, just to make sure they have access to the right information and guidance at that crucial stage of their business. So that brings me over to now here at Wenta, where I am a business advisor, as mentioned, pretty much doing the same things I was doing previously as a business advisor. So a bit of information about Wenta. So we are a social enterprise, a non-profit organization. So we have sort of two sides to the business. One is the commercial side. One is the sort of the free side, the sort of the social side of things. So the commercial side. So we either own or manage a few business centers here in England. So we have one here in Enfield, which is where I am based. We have one in Watford, which is actually our headquarters. We have one in Potters Bar, and we manage a business centre on behalf of Stevenage Borough Council. So we rent out office units, office spaces, warehouse spaces, for example. We even got pods here at Enfield. Okay, so we rent those out to individuals, to businesses. Any money that gets generated from rental income side of things gets put back into the business, pays for the upkeep of the centre, and pays for the sort of the free side, the social side, which I'll talk about in a moment. Other commercial activities we have is registered address service, really useful if you want to set up a limited company, don't want to use your home address as your registered address, because that is made public to everybody. For a small monthly subscription, you can use any one of our business centres addresses. You can get letters, parcels sent to the centre. We'll give you a call, come pick them up. We can send them out to you. We can even answer the telephone in the name of your business as well. You can also set up a virtual office, a mailbox at any one of our centres. We'll give you a key for the mailbox, and you can come and go as you please. We also have something called savings. So we partner up with a number of organisations out there that if you go through our website to obtain their products, to obtain their services, they will offer you a small discount, a small benefit, something that you normally wouldn't be able to get if you sort of went directly to them. So we've got a nice little partnership with Tide Banking. If you are successful in opening up an account via our website with them, they'll deposit £50 into your account. Terms and conditions apply. We've got a nice little partnership with Dell Computing, offering you anything between 5% to 20% on IT-related equipment for you to run your business. We've got accountants on there, tax assists, tax scouts. We've got website developers on there, toolkit, and we've got insurance companies on there and a host of others. So please do check that out if you are interested. We also offer a sort of net zero as well, which I'll talk about during the webinar. I won't talk about it now. So again, from our commercial activities, any profits, any money gets put back into the business, pays for the upkeep of the centres, and pays for the sort of the free side, the social side of things, which is that we offer free business advice, support, and guidance. Okay, for free, you can get access to a business advisor. You can have a conversation with them over the phone and by Zoom, as we are sort of doing now. If you live close to one of the centres, you can come in, organise a little sort of face-to-face, and we can talk about anything sort of business related, any questions, any queries, there, and just sort of, speak out loud with one another. Okay. We also offer free webinars on other business-related subjects, not just sort of net zero program. So we do how to write a business plan, cash flow for your business, finance and bookkeeping for your business, social media for your business, Wix website development for your business. Okay, all for free. Visit our website. You can register for any one of them there. We also partner up with other organizations, other individuals, and they deliver our webinars in partnership with us. So we've got a cybersecurity expert that does that. We've got social media consultant that does that. We've got accountants that do that. We even partner up with Google Digital Garage as well there. So again, if you're interested in any of those sort of services, paid or unpaid otherwise, please do check out our website here. Okay. So I've just seen a few people sort of join. Okay, so welcome. This is the introduction to the Net Zero program. Just to give you a bit of taster of what is to come. Okay, we're going to go over some screenshots a little bit later of what the sort of system looks like. It's fairly easy to sort of navigate. Okay? And we're just going to talk a bit more about sort of net zero and sort of what it involves and what the program involves there. You will get a copy of the slides after the webinar. You will get a link to a recording after the webinar as well. Okay? Any questions, any queries, please make use of the chat box. I will check the chat box sporadically as I am presenting. If it sort of catches my eye, if I notice it, I will answer it within the webinar. If not, please book in a free session with one of our business advisors and we can go into a lot more in depth, okay, about your questions and your queries, or just get the conversation sort of started on your net zero program. But hopefully, by you being on this program, on this webinar, sorry, okay, you've taken the first steps, okay, in learning a bit more about it. Okay, so that's enough of me and enough of Wenta. Okay, we're going to delve into the webinar now. So there are some webinar objectives, content that we're going to be covering in today's this afternoon's webinar. So this webinar is scheduled to last for another, say, 30 minutes or so, or 40 minutes, depending how we get along. So these are the topics that we're going to cover. We're going to talk about why is net zero important to me, okay, or yourselves. What is net zero? Okay, what services can Wenta sort of offer? Okay, and what the next steps are as well. Then, so this is what we're going to sort of cover in today's webinar. If it's okay with everybody, I'll just like to switch off my camera because the lighting isn't so great at the moment, and nobody wants to be staring at me for the next sort of 30 minutes or so. As long as you can see the slides, as long as you can hear me, that is the most important thing. Right. Okay. So first of all, who is this webinar for? Okay. So this webinar is for, well, anybody really, but it's for people that are thinking about starting up a business. Okay. They might be in the early stages, okay, of launching that business or setting it up or exploring. You could be an owner manager, okay. You could be a person, okay, an owner or a person in leadership sort of role that has running an existing business, about to set up a business. You may have a team underneath them or not, okay. So depending on all of those sort of things, okay, generally, I like to think that if you're strongly about climate change, okay, you want to know more, you want to learn about more, okay, you sort of believe that you can make a positive difference in reference to the future of climate change, and you want to know how a net zero journey can help benefit your venture, maybe, okay, see if it can benefit your venture, okay. So it is sort of our belief that no business is too small to make a difference there. Okay, so we hope that during the course of this sort of webinar, and if you join the program in the end, okay, you will realize sort of the benefits that you get in sort of joining us on this net zero program in reference to your partners, to your market, to your competitors, to your clients or customers there. Okay, so the net zero program really overall is all about helping you to create a greener business. Measuring your carbon emissions. That is the main bulk of the sort of webinar. I'll talk about in a bit later on, but in the gold subscriptions there. Okay, so at the moment, obviously, bronze is for free. Anybody can join. Once you've completed the bronze, you can upgrade to silver and gold subscriptions. You pay a monthly subscription for that, and that's when the real action takes place. Bronze is really a bit of introduction of what to sort of expect there, and ensuring that you're taking full advantage, okay, of all the great work that you're going to be doing. For example, engaging with us on this net zero sort of program, letting your clients and customers sort of know, keeping them informed as well, create a bit of content for them to enjoy there. If your clients and customers enjoy your content, they will come back to you, they will inquire, they will engage with you, and hopefully they'll buy something off you as well in the process. Okay, so we're not just talking about your customers and clients, we're also talking about your supply chain as well. But this is something that we'll cover later on in the sort of the program, silver and gold subscription, and we'll touch upon lightly this afternoon. Okay, so moving on. So first of all, okay, we just wanted to let you know, okay, what benefits that we here at Wenta are seeing, okay, from the carbon literacy and our own net zero program. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning, Wenta, we have a portfolio, a property portfolio. We have business centers. We have office spaces, pods, warehouse spaces that we rent out to other individuals, to other sort of businesses, and there. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, Wenta for many years now. Okay, we're always looking at cost-effective management. We're always looking at the best ways to support our tenant clients, okay, working with our internal and external sort of partners and sort of stakeholders, okay, and creating that sort of environment, okay, where they can conduct their business in, you know. So we as a social sort of enterprise, okay, we demonstrate our values in terms of the right thing to do, okay, to support the economic development of the communities, of the businesses, okay. So Wenta have chosen to sort of invest in Wenta's future, okay, as one does, talking about the team, talking about staff, talking about the workspaces, again, and what is best for our clients and sort of tenants as well there, okay. So why did Wenta decide to go down this net zero route? Okay, so one of the reasons was staff engagement, okay, and you might come across it, okay, you might not have, but staff, employees, for example, are increasingly questioning their businesses that they work for, okay. What are your green credentials? What are you doing to help the climate? What are you doing to reduce your sort of your carbon emissions there? Okay, certainly those are some of the questions posed in interviews, I would say, not just by the person interviewing or the person applying for the job, but the person applying for the job has asked these types of questions on occasion there. Okay, so when to decide to go down this net zero route, because it does help reduce costs. Okay, so here at Wenta, we have changed energy suppliers. Okay, 100% renewable as a sort of market. Okay, okay. So initially it might cost a bit more, but over time, over say 5 to 10 years or so, you do save money there. Okay, not just on sort of energy, but we've looked at our supply chain, how we dispose of our waste, for example. Okay, if we're not sending much to the bin, for example, the company that deals with our waste doesn't charge us as much. So we're looking things into recycling bins. We've got recycling bins at all of our centers now, okay, to cut down on that waste producing costs, okay, that involves in any sort of business. Okay, we've looked at things as carpooling when we need to travel to the centers and conduct our business there. Okay, we've looked at encouraging our employees to get electric vehicles, for example. Okay, we've got some organizations do it, some organizations don't. Cash incentives for employees that have got electric sort of vehicles, for example, there. Okay, so by doing all of those sort of things, we've also got electric points, okay, charging points at our centres now. Okay, and by us putting that in, we have supported our tenants, our clients who wanted to invest in those electric vehicle fleets of electric vehicles, but they never did because there were no charging points at the end of the day. Okay, we've helped them with that. We put charging points in our centres, okay, and that in turn has increased our income. Okay, more businesses are attracted to us there. Okay, so there's that sort of cash incentive in a sense, the financial incentive, financial benefit of taking net zero, climate change, carbon emissions into consideration when conducting any business. Okay, Wenta also decided to go down this route to create a greater profile out there, public perception. Okay, that if we are taking into consideration our green credentials and net zero journey, okay, will be more appealing to other clients, to other customers, to other competitors, for example, helps us partner up with other organizations there that will benefit us, that they will benefit from as well, and getting our sort of name out there as well. Okay, so as you can see on the right hand side there of the screen there, a little client sort of testimony, okay. You know, they really enjoyed the sort of the program. Okay, we provided them with sort of inspiration, for example, okay, and they're ready to subscribe. They probably they start off at the bronze, then subscribe to the silver once they've completed that, then they're ready to go for the gold subscription there. Okay, so these are some of the benefits, okay, or why Wenta chose to go down this route. Okay, here is a slide. Okay, so this is actually we got permission from our client. So this is one of our clients here. Okay, we got permission from our client to share this, but she is a sort of furniture business, okay, a designer. Okay, this client does bid for contracts with governments, with sort of councils, for example. Okay, and if you want to get into the supply chain with governments, with councils, okay, with organizations such as the NHS, okay, if you're bidding for those tenders, those contracts, more than likely they will ask you, okay, what are your green credentials? What are you doing about your carbon emissions? Do you have something in place to reduce your carbon emissions? What is your net zero strategy? Okay, they mostly likely will ask those types of questions. Okay, and if you want to be a part of that supply chain, you need to be able to answer them. Yes, I do have a strategy. Yes, I do take into consideration carbon emissions and net zero. Okay, and what you're doing. So as you can see on the screen there, just a simple Excel spreadsheet. Okay, just saying yes, no, answering the question and providing a quick sort of paragraph. Okay, so again, you might come across it already, you might not have, but increasingly, okay, again, if you want to get into the supply chain for those governments, for those councils there, they will ask you about what your green credentials are, what is your net zero strategy there. Okay, so I'm not saying it's the be all and end all. If you have all those things, it doesn't guarantee you sort of that contract, but it does give you a competitive edge compared to your other competitors that don't have that sort of strategy in place, that haven't taken into consideration carbon emissions, net zero sort of program. Okay? So again, I'm not trying to sort of mislead anybody saying that if you do have all of those things in place, you definitely win it. Okay, just throw it out there. Anybody that has bidded for sort of a contract with NHS, with government, with local councils, there is weighting. Okay, so yes, the financials play a heavy weighting. That's probably that 60%, say, for example. Okay, and I've just picked that number out of the clear blue sky, but that's to do with financials. Green credentials might only be 5%, might only be sort of 10% there. Okay, but it's that extra 10% that can get you over the mark. Okay, anybody who has had experience on this webinar, okay, know what I'm sort of talking about. If not, that is something that we can discuss on our one-to-one meetings with a business advisor there. Okay, so again, we just want to give you this example that increasingly, if you want to be part of the supply chains, they will ask you about your green credentials, about your net zero strategy, carbon emissions, carbon footprinting as well. Okay. So, commercial reasons to subscribe. Okay, so again, this is not a comprehensive list. Okay, it's different for every sort of client, for every sort of customer, and there. This is just sort of general. Okay, reasons to subscribe to the net zero program, or to take into consideration a net zero sort of strategy, carbon emissions, carbon footprinting. Okay. It could be to get more customers, as I mentioned before. Okay, your customers want to know what your green agenda is, what your green credentials are. It could be a deal breaker for some of them if they choose to buy, to use your product, to use your services, or even simply to engage with yourself on there. So by subscribing to the Net Zero program, you can sort of show and tell your customers what you're doing, what proactive steps you are taking. Okay. That you're real about sort of net zero, okay? Give your brand, give your business a bit of a boost. Okay? It could be to access green grants, okay? So becoming greener actually opens up new opportunities for you to access those green grants, okay, for your business, okay? So as part of the subscription, we have sort of a database of green grants there. They're live and they can be available to you. To be honest with you, green grants, okay, aren't always available throughout the year. They're very sort of specific. For example, green grants just for solar panels, green grants just for lighting, for example. Okay? Sometimes you'll find something, sometimes you don't. It all depends on the setup of your business and what you're hoping to use the grant for there. Okay, so to get accredited, okay, so your customers, stakeholders, partners, okay, are likely to be more informed and thinking about green in the future, hopefully. Okay, they want to know what you as a business, okay, what you're doing about your carbon sort of footprinting, you're doing about your emissions. So becoming accredited, okay, puts you at the forefront of this. Okay, you get your accreditation badge, you can show that off, show progress on your net zero journey. So like I said, you start off with the bronze. Once you've completed the bronze, you get a nice little graphic to say net zero bronze. You put that onto your website, you put that onto your social media. Then you go on to the silver and gold subscriptions to show natural progression there. Okay, again, a bit of content for your clients, for your customers. You are taking those proactive steps in reducing the carbon footprinting and helping to save the planet as well. Okay, so it could be to access supply chains and win new businesses, as I mentioned over that previous slide, especially if you want to get in with governments, especially if you want to get in with local councils, and especially if you want to get in with sort of NHS as well. It'll become more common practice over the next sort of few years, okay, for you to sort of, if you want to get into that supply chain, for you to have that strategy there. It could be to access greener opportunities out there, okay? So we can sort of have that discussion with you, help you identify and help you get ready, okay, for those green opportunities. Again, it could just be simply making your clients and customers aware of your journey on the net zero program. Could be exploring new green markets, exploring sort of new technologies, maybe hearing what's available on the market there. Okay, just keeping each other sort of informed about it, and if you can exploit any of those opportunities to grow your business, to expand your business. Okay. It could be to attract and retain staff members. So as I mentioned before, employees are becoming increasingly aware of net zero, okay, about saving the environment, about sort of climate change. Okay, some data does show that employees, okay, rate organizations' green credentials, okay, on their list, okay, such as wages, flexible working, okay, before they sort of choose a business as well. Okay, so again, if you want to attract and retain those great employees, maybe this is one route that you could do. It could be to save money. Okay, so again, you know, Wenta, we've changed it to 100% renewable energy now. Initially, outlay was a bit, but over time you save money. Okay, fluctuations of fossil fuels at the moment, sky high sort of gas, electricity. Okay, in reference to fossil fuels. Okay, 100% renewable stabilizes it, helps a bit more planning. And for example, things are more regular, things are more sort of stable there. Okay, help you run a business more smoothly. Okay? And by taking on those green credentials, it helps improve your reputational brand, your business brand, getting accredited, showing off those bronze, silver, gold badges and there. Okay, shows that you're serious about getting things done, taking those proactive sort of steps there that can enhance your brand, okay? Enhance the perception of your business, help you with marketing, okay, based on those genuine green credentials. Okay, so these are some of the many reasons why you should be looking to sort of subscribe to the net zero program. Okay, further on from that, just give you a few sort of figures there. So more than 50% of consumers are willing to pay more for those sustainable products. Okay, point of sale studies show that in some customer segments, okay, sustainable products sell well, even with premiums around 40%. Okay, demand for those sustainable marketed products, okay, have grown 7 times faster than demand for those conventional marketing counterparts, okay, over the next sort of over the last sort of 5 years there. So I'm just going to give you a quick example, and hopefully you understand what we're sort of getting at. So you go down to the supermarket. I go down the coffee aisle. Okay, there's about, I don't know, 20 different coffee brands out there. How do you choose? Okay, which one? Okay, which coffee brand to choose from? Okay, so I, as a green conscious consumer, I've got one coffee brand in front of me that, I don't know, 1 kg worth of sort of coffee is worth sort of £10. I've got another brand in front of me, a kg worth of coffee beans, okay, and that's worth £15. The reason for the difference in price, why one is worth £10 and why one is worth sort of £15, is the £15 one, the more expensive one, okay, that on its packaging has its green credentials. It says on that packaging, sustainable, okay, coffee beans grown on sustainable land, fair trade sort of coffee beans, for example. Okay, little things like that. So I, as a consumer, being that green conscious consumer, I have decided to go for the £15. Okay, I'm willing to spend an extra £5, say, for example, compared to the other brand who doesn't have any of those green credentials on it. Okay, I can enjoy my nice cup of coffee, okay, but also helping save the environment, knowing that the farmers get a fair wage, knowing that the coffee beans are on that sustainable farm, the sustainable land, for example. Yeah. Okay? So that is sort of an example of that. Mm-hmm. So moving on, the benefits of personal carbon footprinting for staff. Okay? So when Wenta underwent this sort of journey, every sort of member of staff had to do an exercise where we carbon footprinted ourselves. okay, to see what our carbon emissions is. Okay, as part of the net zero sort of program in the gold subscriptions, there you will do a carbon footprinting for your business. So by carbon footprinting your staff, for example, a bit of fun, I do have to admit. Okay, you can find out some great sort of useful information. Okay, encourage people, your staff members, okay, or yourself really, undergo that personal carbon footprinting. Okay, it'd be a good bit of team building. Okay, good for the environment, sort of good for the business and there. Okay, so again, here at sort of Wenta, okay, and you might do this for your business as well, depending if you've got a team behind you. So again, employees want to know about their businesses, okay, what their strategy is when it comes to net zero, when it comes to carbon emissions, when it comes to sort of climate change there. Okay, 1 in 4 employees think that their company that they work for aren't doing enough. Okay, by you engaging with your staff, get them on board. Okay, you can give your green leaders within that team added purpose and impact, empower them. Okay, to come up with these sort of great ideas and helping you to reduce your carbon emissions and become a greener business, maybe. Okay, and again, if you can align your staff with your sustainability strategy, if you can get them on board, because at the end they will be conducting the strategies. Okay, you can reach your targets, you can reach your objectives a lot quicker and a lot sort of smoother. Okay, if you're taking into consideration green credentials, okay, for your business, okay, you can sort of start to build sort of knowledge, sustainability knowledge, okay, across the business. Okay, so again, with any sort of business, okay, you've got different departments, different services, different products, different ways of doing things. By adopting, okay, a net zero program, a net zero strategy, you might be able to discover, okay, better ways of doing things, okay, more sustainable ways of sort of doing things. And you're developing yourself, developing your employees for those skills, for that experience. And again, helping retain helping retain the sort of employees, the good ones, for example, okay, getting them on board. The statistic is that 73% want to work for a firm with a strong commitment in tackling environmental issues, okay, especially the younger sort of generation as well, younger employees, okay. Again, as I mentioned sort of previously, they rate annual leave, pay as well, okay, flexible hours. They also rate companies' green credentials. So it's worth sort of getting into at this stage. So here, okay, again, just to sort of build on what we just sort of spoke about, social and sustainability reasons to subscribe, okay? You want to subscribe because you don't want to miss out on anything, okay? You don't want to miss out on the conversation. You don't want to miss out on the opportunities sort of out there, okay? You're doing your bit, okay? Encouraging your friends and family, encouraging your community, future generations to make a difference as well, okay? And by you doing a carbon footprinting exercise, taking on those green credentials, helps you to reduce waste, helps you to reduce overconsumption, overall helps you to reduce emissions in there. Okay. So again, especially when I did the carbon footprinting sort of exercise here at Wenta, when we first got accredited, when we first had to do the training for it those few years ago now, I always thought my carbon emissions was actually quite low. You know, I don't go out much, I don't fly sort of anywhere there. I take the train everywhere. I'm on a bus. I use public transport there. My carbon emission was actually a bit higher than the average, and I was really, really surprised at that. Okay, and that made me look at my lifestyle. Okay, on ways I can reduce my carbon emissions, and it doesn't take much, to be honest with you. Okay, so you might discover a few things about your lifestyle as well, make those positive changes. So here we're going to talk about what does net zero mean. Okay, so I am not a scientist. I'm not going to give you the scientific explanation. If you actually ask a scientist, okay, or a chemist or one of those people, they'll give you a really technical sort of definition. A simple thing is, okay, net zero is a link between CO2 emissions and warming. Okay, so if you want to stop warming, okay, you have to stop emitting. Okay, so we've got to cut our CO2 emissions as far as sort of possible there. Okay, so the important thing for climate is that net emissions are zero. Hence, net zero. Okay, so in the net zero, okay, they do understand, okay, that you'll still be emitting some CO2. Okay, that's just a way of life, and there. Okay, the world needs some sort of CO2. Okay, but how can we reduce our CO2? Okay, how can we ensure that we're not producing as much CO2 as previously? Okay, how do we remove CO2 from the atmosphere. Okay? So these are all things that are in discussion when we talk about net zero. Okay? So you can see in a nice little sort of chart there, for example, okay, the UK annual sort of temperature, and this is from the sort of the Met Office. Okay, so as you can see previously, okay, we've had some really cold years. Okay, over the last say 20 years or so, from the 2000s to 2020, for example, okay, the UK annual temperature has gotten higher and higher and higher. Okay, so again, something needs to change. Okay, because if we carry on this sort of route in 20 years' time, we're going to be even sort of hotter there, and that will start to affect our sort of lives to a certain extent. Okay, so again, net zero is all about helping to control it, reduce your carbon emissions, where sort of possible, how to adopt greener practices, and for example, so we're not as emitting as harmful emissions out there. Okay, so what is the process here at Wenta on the net zero sort of program? Okay, so as part of the sort of silver and gold subscriptions, again, that's where the real action sort of takes place, I would say. So as part of the silver and gold subscriptions, okay, in helping you to reduce your carbon emissions, measure your carbon emissions there, okay. First of all, you start off by making a commitment. Okay, so there are logical steps to follow, to be followed sort of in sequence. Okay, so first of all, you make a commitment. Okay, you're going to be looking at things such as measuring your existing carbon footprinting for your business. Okay, so once you've measured the carbon footprinting for your business, okay, you know what it is, you make that commitment. Okay, so over the next sort of 5 years, for example, I want to reduce my carbon emissions that I have measured just now 10% over the next sort of 5 years. Then it's something attainable, not something too easy, okay, but something attainable. Okay, something that actually sort of makes a sort of a difference there. Okay, so you measure your carbon emissions, you set those target reductions. Okay, something that is realistic, something is attainable but not too easy. Okay, then once you set those reduction targets, you need to now start up to draw a plan to achieve those targets. Because by simply measuring your carbon footprinting, by simply setting those reduction targets without a plan in place, okay, to achieve that target, it doesn't mean anything. The exercise is actually pointless then. Okay, so you need to draw up that plan, a strategy, okay, to achieve your targets. Okay, once you've drawn up those strategies, that plan, okay, to achieve that target, you would then start to report your footprinting, future plans. Okay, you will let your internal, external sort of stakeholders, you will let your employees, your partnerships, your supply chains. Okay, this is what we are hoping to sort of do. Okay, these are our targets. This is what we have looked at. These are the things that we're going to have to do, okay, or looking to do there. Okay, and then you will actively put those actions into plan once you've announced to the world what you're going to be sort of doing there. Okay, so that is about you reducing your carbon emissions. Okay, again, I've got a great plan, great, fantastic. If I'm not acting it out, if I'm not acting on it, if I'm not following it there, it's just a really good looking piece of paper. Okay, so you're actually taking those steps to reduce your emissions, depending on what your targets are. Okay, so hopefully that's exactly what you have done. You have put practices into place. You have put a strategy into place to reduce your carbon emissions. Okay, now what you need to do is remeasure your emissions based on my strategy, based on the plan that I have created. Okay, based on what I said I would do in order to reduce my carbon emissions. Okay, what does my carbon emissions look like now? Okay, so again, you need to remeasure your emissions. Okay, and then you'll broadcast to your audience. Okay, what are results of it? Okay, so where you are at the beginning, these are my carbon emission sort of figures there. Okay, these are the plans, action strategies, targets I've put into place. This is what my organization has actually done. Okay, and you informing internal and external stakeholders, okay, on social media, on your website, wherever it may be, depends on how you want to do it. Okay, again, you're remeasuring it, then you'll be publishing results. Okay, over the last 12 months, we have hit our target of reducing our carbon emissions by 10% in the first year. Okay, or you could say, oh, we've actually reduced our carbon emissions 15%. Okay, instead of that 10% there, make yourself look a bit better, but again, be realistic. It might not go that way. It might simply be we've measured our carbon emissions. However, we've only reached 7%. We've only reached 5% compared to our 10% target. The reason for that is X, Y, and Z. Next year, we will double down. We're putting this into place. We're putting that into place. Okay? because for a business, especially a growth business as well, your carbon emissions will actually be higher compared to, say, 6 months or 12 months ago, depending on where your business was. Again, for growth businesses, okay, at the start, I had 3 employees. I've expanded my business in the last 6 months, in the last sort of 12 years. I've doubled my member of staff. All of them sort of travel there. I've moved into bigger premises because my business is bigger now. I've got more clients. I've got more customers. I am success there. So generally, in that circumstances, your carbon emissions will be higher than it was 3 months ago, 6 months ago when you first reported those figures there. Okay, again, not to worry. Okay, at least you're showing your audience. Okay, the reason why and what you're going to be doing sort of in the future as well. Okay, clients and customers will understand. Okay, your supplier will understand as well. Okay, so this is just sort of generally sort of the progress there. Okay, and again, throughout this process, you will get a business advisor. Okay, they can talk you through, but a lot of the work is down to yourself, and you need to feel passionate about this as well. There. Okay, so again, here, how can we sort of help you? Okay, again, this is a tiered-based service. Bronze is for free, silver and gold, those are subscriptions. For the price of a cup of coffee, for the week, for the month, you can get access to all this great information, new toolkits, new webinars, okay, and that dedicated sort of business advisor to help you out to exploit your green credentials there. Okay, so the bronze one is free to try. Okay, then you move up to silver and gold subscriptions. We do certify your progress. Okay, at the end or during each of those stages. It is delivered by one of my colleagues or by myself. Okay, we've all undergone the sort of the training there. Okay, and we're willing to learn from you as well. If you're willing to learn from us, okay, we can help you to sort of develop the climate strategies, plans, and help build your expertise as well. Okay, and we're with you every sort of step of the way. Okay, but it does require you to put in the time, the effort, the resources, okay, to sort of do it as well. So again, no point coming up with that action plan, no point coming up with that strategy if you're not going to carry it out. For example, if you're not going to tell your clients and customers, your supply chain, this is what I'm doing there. Okay? So first of all, again, just starting off with the bronze, give you a bit of information about it. It's free to anybody. Anybody can join up for it to bypass the payment sort of system there. Okay. Again, just a bit of intro to what is to come. Okay, help you prepare to move into the silver, into the gold subscriptions. Okay, especially if you don't know much about sort of net zero. Okay, it's a good starting point to enroll on the net zero program, which is for free. Then you get toolkits, you get webinars on there, and you get access to a business advisor to answer any questions, to answer any queries. Okay, so again, just exploring. Okay, hopefully, okay, it's engaging. Okay, hopefully that's what motivates you to move on to the next stage, which is the sort of silver subscription. Okay, so again, net bronze is just sort of an introduction to the program and what to expect from the other subscriptions there. Okay, by providing a bit of knowledge, okay, a bit of background information about climate change, about carbon emissions, about carbon footprinting. Okay. So then you move on to the silver subscriptions, okay, and that is where it's a monthly subscription. Again, for the price of a cup of coffee for the week, for the month, you get access to some great information there. So this is really designed for this stage, designed for businesses that believe in climate action, okay, that believe in net zero, that are investing or might be preparing, okay, to take action. Okay, so it all depends on your level of motivation, all depends on your resources, okay. So this period, this silver, could be a couple of weeks, it could even be for a couple of months, depending on how fast you can sort of move from there. Okay, there are toolkits within the silver subscription. Okay, we cover webinars such as understanding about the causes and impact of sort of climate change. We have a webinar on understanding what can be done about climate change. We have a webinar on not saying exploiting, but taking advantage of the business opportunities and the risk arising from climate change. Okay, we talk about business and climate benefits of net zero a bit more than we sort of discussed today, and we'll talk about becoming sort of net zero and what that can mean for the future of your business. Okay, so once you've completed this sort of silver, hopefully we've prepped you, you will then move into the gold subscription. Again, the gold subscriptions, okay, is where the real action takes place. Okay, this is where we actually measure your carbon footprinting. That will help you set those achievable, attainable, okay, goals for reducing your carbon emissions. Help you create that plan, that strategy. Okay, help you report your plan. Okay, help you promote your to report your performance to those internal, external sort of stakeholders there, okay, and help you identify where possible, okay, new business opportunities using your newfound green credentials, your new net zero gold badge, as you can see on the screen. Okay? So again, it does take some time and effort and some resources, I would say, but hopefully you will find it sort of beneficial. Okay. So over the next sort of few slides, just go over some simple sort of screenshots and really give you a bit of a taster of what the sort of the website, what it looks like, and what the sort of the net zero program sort of looks like, okay, on the website. So again, this is sort of our main page. Okay, probably need some updating now. So here is the, sorry, just bring up the laser pointer, is the net zero, my business. Okay, so you visit that, click on the link, you tell you a bit more information about it. Okay, and then if you want, sign up to the bronze subscription. And it's really, really basic. Okay, you put your details in, personal details in, details of your business, for example. Okay, and you sign up for the bronze. Okay, on the bronze, you bypass the payment system. It's only when the silver and the gold, then you have to sort of go through the payment system. But for the bronze, you bypass that one. Okay, anybody that has signed up to anything before, okay, when you first put your details in, you get sent that activation email. Once you've been sent that activation email, you click on it, you log in, then away you sort of go there on the bronze. Okay, you get that second sort of confirmation email. Okay, you log in, and then this is what you see. Okay, this is just a dashboard on here. Okay, so this is for the sort of the bronze. Okay, really easy to sort of navigate. You've got your dashboard, you've got your subscriptions, you've got your edit profile, you've got to change your password. You go back to the home page, for example. Really easy to navigate. We've purposely kept it sort of simple there, non information sort of overload. Okay, so again, once you want to start the sort of training, okay, this is what the dashboard tiles look like. This is where the learning is. Okay, so you get a nice little welcome here. You get frequently asked questions, frequently used terms. We talk a bit about net zero grants if there are any available. You can sign up to the Action Zero newsletter there, and here is the net zero e-learning content. Okay, 50-minute e-learning sort of videos. Okay, again, just a real education. Okay, about net zero, about climate change. Okay, so again, all of those are delivered by members of staff. Okay, once you completed the bronze, you can request your net zero bronze badge. Okay, once you've completed that, you can progress to your silver badge. Okay, so if you do progress to the silver, you still get access to the bronze information and webinars as well. You don't lose access to any of that. Okay, so again, with the silver, with the the bronze, net zero bronze, okay, you will request your badge once you've completed the program. Same with the net zero silver subscriptions. Once you've completed that, you can request your badge as well. With the silver, it took a couple of weeks. It can take a couple of months there, depending on how fast you want to move. Okay, and then once you've completed the silver, you move on to again, the silver is more or less the same as sort of the bronze, just different tiles, different sort of headings there. Again, you still get access to the bronze. Then you can start thinking about moving on to sort of the gold there. Here for the sort of the silver, okay, are some of the webinars that we sort of host. Okay, some of them are live. You choose a date, okay, of which one you want to sort of attend there, and we can get the conversation sort of starting. Okay, so again, just sort of terms and sort of conditions, really. Okay, quick sort of simple read, what to sort of expect there, and this is what it sort of looks like. Okay, again, just taking you briefly just through the sort of the screenshots there. Nothing too complicated. The person delivering here is actually my manager. Okay, so he delivers some of the silver subscriptions and there, or majority of them. Okay, but any of our business advisors can speak to you about it if you have any questions, if you have any sort of queries. Again, just some quick sort of screenshots of what to expect. So when you are on it, you sort of have an idea really what it all sort of looks like. Okay, again, this is the gold net zero sort of gold subscriptions. They're pretty much the same layout as the sort of the bronze, as the silver, just sort of different headings, really. Okay, so here we talk about carbon footprinting, we talk about setting your targets, we talk about helping put plans into place there, and all the other sort of services that we provide as well. So hopefully you can take advantage of the net zero. Okay. So when you first visit our website, okay, under net zero, okay, you probably see this again, probably slightly sort of updating. This program is heavily subsidized, okay, by other parts of the business there. Okay, So we've gone for a subscription-based sort of model. Okay, if you were to get the same program from other people, it could cost considerably a lot more, I would say. So again, just visit our website first. Okay, just get a bit of an understanding. Okay, see if it's something that you can commit to. Okay, see if it's something you can take advantage if you are interested in it, if you are passionate about it there. Okay. So again, sign up. Okay, come towards the end of the webinar now. Again, look at our website. Okay, answer any questions, answer any queries. Make use of the live chat function on our website. Okay? You can get access to a business advisor there. Help you answer any questions, help you answer any sort of queries. So here is just a few links to help you get started. Funding and possible finance. Again, you will get a copy of the slide. Again, probably some updating. Some of these are still valid, some of them aren't. There's always new things coming off, always new things sort of coming on. As part of the subscriptions, we will let you know, okay, what is still active, what is still active, for example. Okay, so why is this important? Again, coming towards the end of the webinar now, it's all about future-proofing your business, making sure that you have a competitive and collaborative advantage over others who haven't considered net zero strategy. Okay, helping you manage any sort of business risks, understanding what your environment is all about, helping you to reduce your costs, okay, improve those efficiencies where possible. And again, not always possible, all depends on the business, helping you improve access to sort of capital, making you aware of what is available. If you are adopting green practices, there might be something available, there might not. Like I said, all depends on what's available. Okay, making sure that you are growing your business, make sure you are growing your brand using your newfound green credentials. Okay, you never know, it might help spur innovation, a new, better way, more efficient way of sort of doing things, and helping you understand, helping you take full advantage of the green credentials. Okay, so you're avoiding any of that consumer or supply chain backlash. There are a lot of businesses out there, they overstate their green credentials, for example. Okay, and that's created a bit of a backlash once they discovered, their clients and customers have discovered that they're not actually very green. Okay, we can help you manage that strategy, help you manage that sort of process. So that brings us to the end of the webinar now. We've gone over what is net zero, why is it important, and what the next steps are. Okay, so here's some contact details, business advice if you want to book in a free session with one of our business advisors, training events, if you want to book into any of our other sort of webinars, our email address if you want to email us, our telephone number if you want to give us a call, arrange a meeting with us, and links to our social media as well there. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the webinar now.